Hello YouTube, how's everyone doing? It's Professional here. So today I will be reviewing the RO-86 Soviet stealth bomber jet. Now, this is the first vehicle review I'm doing for the Cayo Perico DLC. I'm sorry I'm kind of late on these. I've just been extremely busy with a lot of other projects, but I'm going to be gradually reviewing the other vehicles over time. And I wanted to start off with this one because I was the most interested in testing this one out. Now, the RO-86, this is actually based on the Tu-160. This is a Soviet bomber jet in real life, and a lot of Ace Combat 7 fans will recognize this jet because this jet actually plays a big role in that game. A lot of missions you actually have to shoot down the jet before it actually drops bombs, so it is a pretty significant target in that game. But on to GTA. The RO-86 costs a total of $4,350,000, but you can get it for a trade price of $3,262,500, apparently, if you complete the heist finale using the RO-86 as your approach vehicle. And the reason that I'm saying apparently is because that's according to the GTA wiki. I was trying to figure out exactly what caused the trade price because I had it, but I never completed the finale with the RO-86 as my entrance vehicle. I wasn't even the host for that. I wasn't even the leader. I did help a friend complete the RO-86 prep missions, and then we started doing the heist finale, but what happened was one of our friends got disconnected and we just never finished the heist, but I still had the prep mission even though I wasn't the leader. So let me know down below, guys, if you completed the prep mission and you got the trade price, or if it was depending on the finale. Maybe it glitched out for me, but I never was the leader in the heist. I did the prep mission helping a friend once, and then we also did the finale. We attempted to, but we never finished, and I still had the trade price. But regardless, you should do the trade price on it. So do the prep mission, do the heist, you get free money for the heist, and you also get $1 million off the aircraft if you do it either way. So take advantage of that, get the money in the heist, and you get $1 million off the plane. The aircraft that I will be comparing the RO-86 against is the Volatile, which my friend right here is in, and you can see just how much bigger the RO-86 is. The Volatile has a little bit bigger wings, but the RO-86 is just much wider than it. So how did they compare in a speed test? And I have this speed test a little bit sped up right here, but you see my friend in the Volatile on the left side, and right here me in the RO-86 on the right side. We did an impromptu race, and we just basically flew in a straight line. The RO-86 can take off much faster than the Volatile. The Volatile takes a little bit longer to take off, and as you can see, I'm in the lead. The RO-86 has much better acceleration, but does that really make the RO-86 the faster aircraft? So here I decided to do a second test, and in the second test, I let my friend get a head start. And then after his head start, I had decided to take off, and the RO-86, for being such a pretty large aircraft, can actually take off very quickly. And I think the reason that Rockstar allows you to take off really quickly is because it can get hooked onto a lot of things and it can crash pretty early on, and I'll demonstrate that a little bit later. So here, you can still see me in the lead, and I end up winning this race. But now the question is, what is the top speed? Is the RO-86 really faster? To demonstrate this, I did a second test, and in the second test right here, you see my friend flying ahead of me. I decided to let my friend get a little bit ahead, and I just wanted to see, can I catch up to him? And eventually, I did catch up to him. Now, if you fly in a completely straight line, overall, the RO-86 is a little bit faster than the Volatile, but not by much. Eventually, you will catch up to the Volatile if you're just going in a complete straight line, but it's not that noticeable. So here I eventually passed it. But what is noticeable between the Volatile and the RO-86 is takeoff. The RO-86 can take off much better. It has much better acceleration, and on top of that, it has much better turn handling. Just take a look at this. The RO-86, for being such a large aircraft, turns really easily. I was actually surprised by the agility on this thing. And another weird thing about it is that for some reason, the Volatile seems to dive better than the RO-86. Not a crazy amount, but it seems to dive better. So even though the RO-86 is a little bit faster, has better acceleration, can take off easier, and better turning, the Volatile, it kind of can dive a little bit better. So now let's talk about some things that really piss me off about this jet. Now, for one, the spawns. The spawns in this jet are just really, really bad. And look, I get it, it's a large aircraft, but Rockstar could have put a little bit more effort into making the spawns a bit better. For instance, take a look at this. If you try to spawn the jet at the lighthouse here, the jet actually spawns behind this tree. And basically, to get the jet out of here, you kind of got to wiggle it out to the side. It's just frustrating and annoying. They could have just placed the jet in front of it. The jet takes off pretty easily anyways. It still would have had enough room to take off. Other places, like in Vespucci Beach, it can spawn behind this lantern, and you gotta knock the lantern down when you want to take off. You can still take off, but it's kind of annoying. Another location is in this industrial zone here. It spawns, and it can hook onto the wall here. You can kind of back it up, wiggle it out, and you can still take off, but it's just frustrating that you got to do that. On top of it, this aircraft, when it comes to landing, it actually suffers from a lot of hook-on problems. Now, if you land this aircraft at Sandy Shores, which I don't recommend doing at all, Sandy Shores, you're pretty much always going to hook onto something. Whether it's a bush, a wall, something is going to get hooked on at Sandy Shores. A rock, it's just really frustrating. And even at the LSIA, it can still hook onto those small little signs. And the thing is, a lot of other aircraft that are wide, they don't hook onto these signs or to these bushes. Do you know why? Because their landing gear is actually higher. So the wings are actually above the bushes. They're actually above the signs. That's what they could have done. They could have made the landing gear much higher, and because of that, the wings wouldn't be hooking onto it. That's just annoying. But the worst part about the spawns is this location right here. This location right here, near the wind farm. If you try to spawn the RO-86 near the wind farm, it's going to blow up or shoot up in the air almost each time. It rarely doesn't blow up. I had one instance where it didn't blow up, but take a look at this right here. It blows up when you try to spawn it in front of the wind farm. Don't believe me here? Let me spawn it a second time. And let's take a look at this in slow motion too. So you see, it can blow up when you spawn it here. Thankfully, you don't have to pay for it. It's free to call in from Morse Mutual again if you spawn it here. But why is it spawning in an area that it's instantly blowing up in? It's because it hooks onto everything. So you can see that Rockstar, they kind of rushed this aircraft out because they could have easily seen that some of the spawn locations were broken for it, but it was unfortunately rushed out. And one time I had it where the aircraft kind of shot up in the air here. I was still able to take off with it, but it's either 50-50, whether it blows up or it doesn't at this location. And it just hooks onto so many things when it lands. But does this jet have any special features? It does. It has a stealth mode. When you basically reach around 2,000 feet, you go into stealth mode. And stealth mode, you will not appear on the radar for other players. You actually completely disappear from the radar, like you see my friend disappearing right here. Now, you can still drop bombs with this jet when you're in stealth mode, but if you're in stealth mode and you're trying to drop bombs, it's going to be almost impossible. If it's a standing target, you might have a chance of hitting it, but if it's a moving target and you're that high up in the air, you're not going to be able to hit it. It's going to be really, really difficult, probably more luck than skill. So I tried really badly to hit one of the targets here. I was actually having a rough time, and this is the helicopter disruption mission for the Perico heist. So I tried to do one mission here to see if I could actually drop bombs effectively. At high altitudes, I was kind of struggling with it. When I dropped down, I was able to hit them, but it would still be better with just a Sparrow helicopter, or even like a laser or a Hydra just flying over and just blowing them all up. It still would have been more effective than bombing with this jet. And a really disappointing thing about this jet when it comes to bombs, it only carries 50 bombs. This is apparently the largest vehicle in the game now, besides the cargo plane that's in single player and certain online missions. So this is one of the largest aircrafts in GT Online, and it can only hold 50 bombs. And it's a bomber also. But there's going to be people in the comments that are going to tell me, but professional, every aircraft holds 50 bombs. Not true. The Volatile, the aircraft that we were actually testing against the RO-86 earlier, that aircraft can actually hold 100 bombs. That makes it unique. This aircraft can't hold 100 bombs. It only holds 50 bombs. So if you're advertising this as a stealth bomber, why is it that this plane can only hold 50 bombs? It should be holding way more than 50 bombs. It should hold 100 bombs, just like the Volatile. But despite all of that, that is not the most disappointing thing about this aircraft. What is the most disappointing thing? It's the fact that when you go into stealth mode, you are not safe from an orbital cannon. And that would have redeemed the aircraft in some way, at least in my opinion, because imagine how funny it would have been if you could go into stealth mode and you wouldn't appear on the orbital cannon. When you use Ghost Organization or Off the Radar, you don't appear on the orbital cannon, so why do you appear on the orbital cannon when you're in stealth mode, in like an Akula or in an RO-86? It doesn't make much sense. And right here, I'm using the orbital cannon on my friend. Now, I hate the orbital cannon. I don't like using it. My friend allowed me to blow him up right here just to show, but my friend is way above the altitude. He is way higher than he needs to be, and still, on the orbital cannon, I can see him and blow him up. So, what's really the point of the stealth mode if you're not safe from orbital cannons, if there's still something that can find you no matter what? Also, there's another really weird thing I found about this plane. This plane, you can pretty much go around anywhere, and you can enter from anywhere instantly. You'll be in the cockpit. Now, you could be all the way in the back and just hit enter, and you'll be in the plane. You could be on top of the plane and hit enter. And I noticed that in a lot of places this works, but for some reason, sometimes I still had to enter manually where he would actually open up the door and get in. But I've noticed if the door is closed, you can a lot of times teleport inside the plane. Additionally, if it's during a mission, like a prep mission, I wasn't able to spawn inside. I was just able to open up the door, so the entrance to it is also kind of weird. And lastly here, we have an armor comparison. And I decided to test the RO-86 against the homing launcher, which a lot of people would probably use to shoot it down. I have my friend sitting inside the plane because some vehicles have more armor when there's people inside them. But as you can see right there, it takes 3 homing missiles to blow this up. Kind of disappointing for that large of a plane. It should have better armor. Now comparing this to the Volatile, the exact same thing. 3 homing launchers to blow it up. Now, what about RPGs? This plane can very much be hit by an RPG because it's such a large target. People could shoot you down with RPGs. RPGs, disappointingly, only 1 RPG for both the Volatile and the RO-86. If you're going to make this large of an aircraft, Rockstar, give it a lot of armor. Even take 10 RPGs. That would still be balanced, even if it can take an insane amount of damage, because people wouldn't really abuse this thing. The only thing you could do is drop bombs, and you have 50 in total, and it's a pretty big target anyway, so I don't see why the armor can't be severely buffed on this. And here at the end, we have the pros and the cons. Now, the pros are it's fast for its size. Now, this is apparently the largest aircraft in the game now, besides the cargo plane. So, it is very big. And for its size, it's a little bit faster than the Volatile. It's much faster than Titan, and much, much faster than the Bombushka. So, it does have decent speed. You can get from one end of the map to the other end relatively quickly. It's very agile for its size. It can turn really easily, which doesn't make sense considering it's such a large aircraft, but I'm not complaining here. Agility is definitely a plus. It is the largest aircraft in the game now. Now, that's kind of a weird pro to put on, but I decided to put it on there because it's unique. It's very big. And easy entrance into the aircraft. Now, you can enter the aircraft from pretty much anywhere, from the top, from the back. Sometimes it'll have you go in the sides, but oftentimes I would just go to the very back, get instantly teleported inside. And the stealth mode. When you go above 2,000 feet, that's the second line on your minimap. So the second line going up on your minimap, when you start seeing the white arrow blinking, that's when you're in a stealth mode. So stealth mode will take you off the map for other people, but again, remember, it won't protect you from orbital cannons. Now the cons are, it's very expensive. Now this aircraft is going to cost you well over $4 million. You can get it down to $3,260,000 if you do, the prep mission and the finale. You apparently have to be host, but remember what I said, I still got it even though I wasn't the host. I got the trade price, but the trade price is definitely worth doing. So do the heist, you get free money, and you get $1 million off the aircraft. And another con is, it only holds 50 bombs. Doesn't make sense. This is a bomber aircraft. The Volatile is smaller, and it holds 100 bombs. Why can't this aircraft hold 100 bombs also? Another con is very weak armor, like we tested before. 1 RPG, that's it. 3 homing missiles, that's it. Why? If it's this large of an aircraft, it should take way more damage. It would still be balanced. People wouldn't really abuse it. It's a decently sized target already. And it does not hide you from the orbital cannon. This is what pisses me off the most about this aircraft. That it has a stealth mode, but it doesn't protect you from the orbital cannon. So if there's some place that you can always be found no matter what, what's the point of the stealth mode then? And it hooks onto too many things. I understand this is because the wings are wide. I get that. But like I said, they could have made the landing gear much higher, and then because of that, this thing wouldn't hook on to other stuff. The landing gear is just way too low on it. Maybe it's recreating its real landing gear, but they could have put in fake landing gear just to make it much taller than it was. That way it wouldn't hook on to so many things. And some spawns are glitched. Like I showed you guys earlier, some spawns it'll spawn behind like a tree, you gotta wiggle it out, it can hook on to things, and in that one spot near the wind farm, it just blows up whenever it spawns or it shoots up. It's annoying and it's frustrating. So there's limited places that you can spawn it in. But other than that, that's pretty much it for this review. Overall, I think if you're looking for an aircraft to get, you're looking for something to help you out on missions and stuff, this is not the aircraft. This is going to be a big waste of money for you. However, though, if you are into aviation, you like planes like me, I especially like planes from the Cold War, then this aircraft is definitely worth it. This is a great aircraft. This is still in service today, I believe. I believe that Russia still uses this jet in service today. It's well known in the Ace Combat community, So if you like aviation, you like collecting planes in the game, get this one. It is a very unique plane. It's the largest plane in the game, like I said. It does have a stealth mode, but it does not have that much uses. And that is pretty much it for this review. If you guys enjoyed it, drop a like. And if you're new to my channel and you might subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care, everyone.